All right, guys. Today we're going to be going over engineering as a profession. Well, basically, that's what this unit is about. So, throughout this unit, you'll be learning to list and define the various functions of engineers, describe the professional aspects of engineering, describe the purpose of codes and ethics as it relates to engineering, provide examples of types of impacts of engineering, and then you'll be describing the future of engineering. So today we're going to be going over the functions of engineers. It's a review of what we covered in the last unit. So with any type of engineering feat, it starts with trying to solve a problem, and trying to solve that problem either involves research or coming up with some kind of design. So the first steps are always going to be research and design, and sometimes they come hand to hand. So, as you know, we already said the design engineers are the ones who are actually designing what the product would do, designing the prototypes, the test fixtures, and whatnot. With the research engineers, a lot of times the research engineers aren't focused on a particular product. Like the design engineers might be focused on how to make the next iPhone. A research engineer, similar to where the materials engineers fall into play, they may specifically just be focusing on how different elements or how different chips and components can do different things, and their applications can go to all of the products that a company or industry is producing, but they're just researching basically to push the entire field forward. The development engineers, on their end, they're looking at how to actually develop these new products. A lot of these are, sort of self-explanatory until you're actually working with the particular industry. But there's always going to be product and development. So production and development kind of go hand in hand. Again, they're just steps behind each other. So development is developing that new product that came about from the design and the research. And then the production engineers, that's where you get into the manufacturing. And that's where you're trying to make this scalable. So you have a great idea, but if you can research, design, and develop the most amazing iPhone ever, but you don't have a way to put that in the hands of thousands or millions of people, then you don't have a true product. And that's where production comes in the hand. Construction, that's a lot of times where the civil engineers come into play, and we're actually building large fixtures. Operations is making things run smoothly. That's your managers, your plant managers. Then you have your sales engineers. As I told you that my friend over at Schlumberger Steel, he's going above to different engineering facilities around the world to sell them on the different products that were developed by the company. And then management. No matter what business you're in, you're always going to have management. But with engineers, it's knowing that you have a manager that doesn't just have a business degree, but actually understands engineering concepts and what can go wrong, so that you can actually manage your teams effectively. So again, with the design engineers, we're going to be going a little faster now. They use the engineering design process, and they create the products that meet the client's needs. The research engineers work in laboratories with, right along with scientists. Like I was saying, the scientists are researching theories, and then the research engineers are putting those theories to the test and trying to see how they'll work in the in real world situations. So you have a lot of scientists that are discovering new things. Like they're always doing their research, they're always testing. And then the chemical engineers, for instance, are working tightly with the chemists to figure out how to make the new theories and their new hypothesis, testing them on products in the real world. The development engineers, that's where we went back to where I said that there was a person at the job that was in charge of testing and analyzing the ideas and products, testing the tools for durability, testing whether they will be able to do all the things that that we said that they were trying to do. And a lot of times your development engineers might be that one level up manager from the design engineers, because the design engineer, has the design skills to create something, but it's that testing engineer that also comes along that has field experience, has seen things fail, that can come back and say, okay, I see, that you made this design in this manner, but this is why we can't do this because, 2 years ago at Aberdeen, this blew up, so we no longer use that. So that's where he goes back with the design engineer and say, okay, let's do this so it can pass this test. Again, the production engineers, they coordinate the scheduling, and then they turn in the raw materials into the final product. The operations engineers, they're doing the large facilities, the railroad systems, our entire traffic system, sewage systems, the manufacturing facilities. So when you think of operations engineers, they're moving people and machinery around to complete a specific task. And then I said the sales engineers, they go out, they meet the clients. They're the technical salesmen of the product. So not just saying, look, this is pretty. They're saying this is how much money this product can make for your company and the problems that it solves. And then, again, management is managing the materials that are being used. So management is in charge of that budget. What are the materials that we need for testing, for building, for designing, for hiring, which is where the human resources element comes in. And then, as always, you've got to have teamwork. Everything that I've said so far, you notice that I've talked about the communication that's coming between chemists and chemical engineers, development engineers and product designers, managers, construction operations managers. So you're always working in teams as an engineer. You'll have specific parts that you're working on your own to get something done in your office, but will always be a part of a team that's working on a larger project.